One more time, fans, before this game starts. Tonight's game is being broadcasted live for free on the Erie Tiger Network. Go to youtube.com/Erie Tiger Network to watch this game live for free or on demand. So be sure to tell your friends and family that could not make it tonight.
I don't know. Hello and welcome to the Erie Tiger Network for the soccer game, the Windsor Wizards at the Erie Tigers. It is senior night on this cold night. I'm Alex Duval. I'll be doing your play-by-play. Thomas Abreu will be doing the producing. Jane Chambers and Noah Aiello will be your camera crew for tonight. This is a huge game because Erie needs a win to get into the playoffs this year. The Wizards will be starting with the ball to begin this half. And we are off. A booming kick down the far side. Last touched by Erie. It'll be Windsor throw-in from the sideline. Patrick heads the ball. Kick to CJ Hull. Kicked back up to Dalton Harrington. Up to the sideline to Jeffrey Fitzjohn, and it goes out of bounds. Windsor throw-in. All the way back in the Windsor zone. Oh, Patrick comes up. Doesn't quite get there.
And Alex will also be joining you here with the color. You kind of mentioned already that this is a big game tonight. Erie sitting right on the bubble in RPI.
Yes.
And I know talk with Mr. Carpenter before the game. He felt like tonight, if they won, that could plant them straight into the playoff picture. We also got to talk with CJ Hull before the game, and CJ had mentioned some of the keys or the plan of attack here tonight, and they were hoping to play with only 3 men back. They know how critical this game is to win. Windsor plays with 2 up top, so they're going to have 2 defensemen kind of marking and 1 to cover. And so they were going to try and be aggressive because that is how Windsor lost not that long ago to Skyline. They were able to beat them, and there's a shot into the net and a huge goal for the Tigers. Who was that? I missed that. Okay.
Big goal for CJ, the seniors
Tiger goal.
leading this
Scored
team
by senior
this season.
C.J. Hall.
Well, Alex, how about that start, huh?
That's a great start. CJ Hull just leading the team both emotionally and just leaving it all out on the field for senior night.
And he mentioned they were going to play aggressive. I actually asked him if he was going to play defense tonight, and he said no. I think they're going to have me play in the midfield. And, man, that strike was textbook. And that's how you want to start against a very good Windsor side. He said the team had a heart-to-heart yesterday about what kind of team they want to be here. And how about that response? That's the type of response you get after a team meeting like that can be a program changer. Of course, we know Erie has improved a lot. Now they have skidded their last 2. They lost 3-0 to Holy Family and 8-2 against Skyline. But before that, they ripped off 5 straight wins. And their overall record, 6-8 on the year. We'll talk a little bit more about RPI later. See those Tigers being aggressive. CJ took another crack. So throw-in coming for Windsor. And Tigers will get it right back here. It'll be David to throw this one in. Alex got to be excited with the way this thing has started. Good energy as that's headed down to the box. Patrick tried to chop one in. Still in the box. Cummings can't quite corral it, but there you see the Tigers continue to put pressure on this Windsor back line.
Yeah, as long as they stay aggressive, there's definitely a good hope for winning this game and getting into the playoffs.
Tigers again, staying aggressive, trying to pressure that back line. I think it's caught Windsor a little bit off guard here. Now Windsor trying to counter up the field. Windsor 13-1 on the year, and Erie leading right now, 1-0 after an early strike by C.J. Hull. You look at the RPI in this state. Windsor sits there at 13 with a 13-1 record. Tough sledding to really boost up the RPI in boys soccer. So we said Erie sitting at 35 coming into tonight. They are just behind Glenwood Springs, George Washington, even Longmont at 3-9-2. So this would be a huge win if the Tigers could get it tonight Long way to go, though, against a very talented team. On the year, Windsor has scored 66 goals in their 14 games, so Erie's going to have to keep them honest here tonight. As we said, Windsor's only lost that one game all year. And on the year, their lowest goal output has been 2 goals. Now, that was Erie. Erie held them to a 2-goal performance on September 20th. And they scored 2 goals against Lewis Palmer. Other than that, well, they have scored only 2 goals a couple more times as I double-check here. And then they lost 4-0 to Skyline. But Erie has done one of the better jobs at keeping this Windsor team at bay already. Long ball up top, taken by Jimenez, and then booted wide. Alex, you see a team like this, what do you kind of presence do you sense out there from the Tigers right now?
They're definitely a very aggressive and hard-working team. You can tell that they have a great chemistry. These guys have been playing together for many, many years. It's just great to watch these guys work hard and play hard and just grind for that W.
Yeah, one thing that is exciting, we just celebrated senior night here at the stadium. There's only 4 seniors as that cross just whistles wide of the foot of the man it was intended for. Don't have that one on my roster in front of me. Windsor still on the attack, though. Spending some time here in the third. Yeah, as you were saying, they have started to show some good chemistry, and there is now a penalty coming. And I have not seen a signal to stop the clock. Double duty here tonight, folks. Running the scoreboard, PA announcing and commentating, and Alex Duval helping out. Thomas Abreu producing here tonight.
Looks like the clock will be reset to 31 minutes and 12 seconds.
And I think Wasim Jimenez will be the one taking this. This is usually about an 80 to 85% chance that this will go in. And a great stop! Oh, my goodness! John Powell on the stop. And as we said, that's only stopped about once out of every 5 times at best.
That was a spectacular save.
Now ball, top of the box. Tigers kind of scrambling here defensively. Long shot just whistled over the crossbar. Tigers kind of surviving here the last couple of minutes, but doing so by a great save by John Powell on the PK. And Alex, I don't know if you did you see what they called the PK for? What foul was in the box?
I did not. I did not have a chance to see.
Kaderi can't quite catch up to it. Carstensen misses. Jimenez flying up the left side. No clock on our graphics tonight. We're trying to keep it simple, a little more reliable. That's headed down, and another nice little snag that time by Powell. Just under 30 minutes to go here. So 10 minutes in, and then we've had some exciting action. Just a wonder strike by C.J. Hull. And then an outstanding full laid-out save by John Powell, who really shown strong this season for the Tigers in the absence of the very talented Dylan Brown. And CJ Hull getting called with the foul as he tried to step up. That was John Burnett. They drew the foul, and they're actually going to place the ball right at the 40, and they're going to send some numbers forward here. So Erie will have to drop back a little. As we said, they wanted to be in an attacking posture. They were only going to keep 3 back tonight to try and put that pressure. I wonder if those plans changed a little bit with the Windsor goal, as that one just skipped through the inline. Alex, in a big game like this, what do you think the mentality of these Erie kids, knowing that they need to get a win against a team that's dominated their league all season long? What does their mentality need to be tonight?
Well, even though they're in an aggressive formation, I still think a main priority is defense. Like you said, scoring 66 goals in only 14 games, they definitely need to keep the shot count low and keep the pressure off of John just to be able to make sure they stay in this game. And the more time you're attacking, it's just less time you need to spend on defense.
Windsor will play it back. That's Bauma. They'll boot that one all the way up near midfield. Windsor, pretty good soccer school. We've seen them do well throughout the years. As we sometimes know on the Erie Tiger Network, Windsor fans travel pretty well for, seems like, every athletic event, and they are a passionate fan base. Now a long cross in, and Powell had to glove it, and he did his job. That was put on frame. Pretty good deep cross there, about 40 yards from net. And John Powell coming up big again. Of course, that might be the highlight of his year, stopping a penalty kick. That's always big time for a goalie. Not only do you have to guess, and you make that guess before they kick it. I think some goaltenders or goalkeepers will tell you that they can sometimes pick up where the player wants to go with it right as they're addressing the ball. But for the most part, you got to guess, stick with it, jump out, and hope to catch a piece of it. And sometimes even when you guess right, you still can't stop it. David with the throw in. Now it's headed out of play. Erie, as we said, 6-8, including 5 wins that came in a row. A team that continues to improve every time they're out on the field. CJ Hull, by the way, for him, that was his 3rd goal of the year. Joshua Kaderi leads this team with 6. Hogan Warlock has 5. 3 of those coming against Frederick. Kaderi trying to play it off of the Windsor defender. Couldn't quite do it. Karstensen giving chase. Finally running him out of bounds was Higgins. A little one-touch shot. Good technique there. Not able to bury it, though, was Jimenez, as he's now been stopped a couple times by John Powell. 24:46 left to go here. Erie still on top, 1-0. That one just snuck by Kaderi up there. Windsor on the attack. Erie's been pretty solid defensively as well. As see a good job there by Ethan Tyson coming over. And honestly, you watch Ethan Tyson, I had to double check my roster. He just looks a lot more comfortable playing soccer at this time of the year than he did when he first started. Athletic kid, very fast, but not really a soccer player, I believe. And Caleb Humbles joined us in the booth, and he knows Ethan from basketball. Ethan is a basketball player through and through, and I think he joined soccer this year to kind of stay in shape. And to my recollection, I believe this is his first year playing organized soccer.
Ball deep in Erie's zone. Kicked out by Dalton. Headed back in. And out of bounds. Windsor throw in.
22:57 left here in this first half. Erie on top 1-0. Big first goal there by CJ Hull, only a couple minutes in. Now there's that dangerous speed through the middle for Windsor. They'll play it out wide. Erie doing a good job kind of clogging the middle there. They'll let Windsor get outside a little bit, but they really don't want Windsor to control in the box. Little flick on is blocked, and now the Tigers have a little chance at a counter. Roloff will just send that one all the way up to the Windsor goalie. Windsor starting to possess here in the Tiger third a little more, but the longer you can go keeping Windsor off the board, even if the Tigers aren't able to get an insurance goal, that just mounts pressure for a good team to try and score, and that's, you can a lot of times see some mistakes and they'll give up counters. Saw that a little bit with Team USA that missed qualifying for the World Cup. A lot of pressure on them once they went down 1-0 to Trinidad and Tobago, and they couldn't ever quite get things going. And ball in the box, and it's flicked on and high and wide. That was dangerous. Alex, when you're back on your heels a little bit, what can the Tigers do to kind of recapture that energy we saw in the first 5 minutes?
I think lately they've just been lacking in communication. I think they just need to communicate a little bit better and close those gaps so there's no way that the ball can get through, and then it'll alleviate pressure on John, and then they'll go back to playing well.
Into the game for the Wizards, number 24, Cole Davidson.
Iago sends that out wide.
Just over 20 minutes left here in this half. Try and give you the time update quite a bit here. See, Tigers, not many attackers. Early in that game, they were really pressing that back line. I think that's what led to the goal, is Windsor was just kind of shocked. I think a lot of teams that play them kind of park the bus and hope to shut them down. And tonight, Erie came out on the attack. As we said, they were decided that they were going to start the game with only 3 defensemen and really take a forward attacking posture. Windsor trying to get going a little bit quicker than the referees would allow. Big week here on the Erie Tiger Network, as we will have full slate of softball for you on Friday. At least we hope it's a full slate. And then football up at Roosevelt on Friday night. And then hopefully we continue with a couple more games on Saturday as well. We should have all of those. It will be a little bit different in how we broadcast that. We will kind of release a statement. According to the CHASA rules, there are certain restrictions on how you can broadcast playoff games. And so we are obviously committed this year to trying to provide free content throughout the year to Erie Tiger fans so that they can keep tabs on their team as high school students continue to provide broadcasts to the community at large. But CHASA rules don't necessarily align with those goals completely. So we will release a statement once we get the go-ahead to broadcast from CHASA tomorrow. But we're pretty confident we'll be able to. It just might look a little bit different than it has so far this year. Now Hull will lay it off. Ball blown dead here. Another foul on Erie. Coach Vigil trying to get his guys to mark their man. 17:41 left. Sub ready to come in here for Windsor. Can't quite tell who that is.
Yeah, 27.
Into the game for the Wizards, number 27, Colton Hedinger. So Colton Hedinger checks in. Thank you, Alex. A little bit of a glare here in the booth. Now ball played up. Roll off, trying to settle down and turn. He is surrounded by 5 maroon jerseys. Windsor, school colors, maroon and Vegas gold. I don't know how I know that. I don't remember how I know that. On Max Preps it says maroon and gold, but I promise you at one point the official colors were maroon and Vegas gold. All right, corner kick coming here for Erie. See if they can take advantage here. They'll send numbers forward. They only have 2 men back. They'd love one more goal here. This one curled, headed, just wide. I think that was Ethan Tyson that came flying in. And no, they'll actually say that was off of a Windsor player. And so we will have another Tiger corner kick. Man, this would be huge if the Tigers could bury one. Another curler, and that one is headed high off the upright. And it'll stay 1-0 here for at least a little while. Brandon Bird, Alex Duvall, Thomas Abreu, Jaden Chambers, and Noah Lejo here with you. And Alex, obviously, do you think right now it's kind of a function of Erie? I mean, I guess they possessed a little more in the Windsor third, maybe the last 2 minutes, but saw kind of a lull there. Do you think that they've backed off their aggression intentionally, or do you think that's just Windsor kind of putting the pressure to them?
I definitely think that Windsor has added a lot more pressure, and Erie has definitely backed off, but they're still up at the ball and fighting for the ball, trying to get possession. And even though that Windsor has had the ball for majority of this part of the half, They're keeping it back in the Windsor zone so they can't push forward and make a play. So that's some great defense, even in the midfield.
14 minutes and counting here. Ball played up. Kaderi trying to get in there, pass in the box, and man, he got a foot to it first. Erie, as you said, kind of showing a little bit more aggression here. Kaderi had Heinl, or excuse me, Yago Roloff just kind of lurking. Now David with it, trying to just press it in. Tigers keeping pressure, long shot, and hey, anytime you can keep it on frame, that's what you got to do. And Jackson Higgins already had a goal like that, according to our own Caleb Humble, who's just come up and checked into the press box before he goes to basketball practice. Ball sent into the box, and once again, John Powell there to snuff out the threat. Subs coming here for Windsor. And actually, there's an injury. And so they will attend to that. Well, fans, don't forget to follow us on social media. You can like the Erie Tiger Network Facebook page. You can follow us on Twitter, Erie Tiger Net. You can even check out our Instagram, which we're trying to be a little more proactive with. And as always, check us out online at erietiger.network.com. And Tanner David, I think, is the one shaking up there, and he's kind of gingerly walking off. .12:07 is what's remaining here in this half. Clock will restart here on the kick. Powell will send it up there. Roloff trying to play it out wide. That one will just roll over the end line. Does feel like the Tigers have kind of recaptured a little bit of that aggressiveness and tacticalness that they had early in this game. Windsor sends a long ball in. A good clear out of the middle there by Dalton Harrington, who had to track back. Now Hull with a nice steal. Hull plays it up the sideline. A little touch right back to Hull. Tigers, they've got numbers. CJ trying to keep the ball at his feet. Pokes it in toward the box. Gets it right back. Still kept onto the Tiger feet. And now Harbaugh will play it back. Sent in. There's a man there. Can Kaderi get to it? And he can't quite. Runs into the goalie. The goalie kind of Holding on to his ribs. That was real close. Just missed a first touch from Josh Kadarian. Had he been able to touch that first, he might have been able to send that one on net. Flashing back the other way is Carlson. Sends one into the box. Rolls all the way through. Cleared out, but not far enough. Shot! Whistles wide, and that was well offside by the Windsor player, as he touched that one to keep it from going over the end line, but offside by quite a bit. Oh, Powell will step in toward the net. Take this from inside the 6-yard box. And a foul called on Windsor and a little shove. Patrick Cummings set to check into this game. Wizard also set to check in here any moment. Ball sent top of the box, cleared out of bounds. Now we will see some subs come in for both teams. Into the game for the Tigers, number 5, Patrick Cummings. For Windsor, number 21, Andrew Kohler. Andrew Kohler, the one to check in for the Wizards. And that one was headed out. That was Dalton. No, that was Kadari down there. Harrington back. He'll clear it high into the Erie night. 8:50 remaining here in this first half. Tigers holding on to a 1-0 lead. Now ball played up into the box. Bouncing over everyone. Cleared out again. Tigers continue to play organized. Wizard just kind of tumbling head over heels. Erie trying to pick up the ball. And a Windsor player down. We'll stop the clock for that injury. He seems to be okay. That was John Burnett. I believe we'll have to go out because, no, he won't. We'll just roll the clock. Not quite like football where if they blow the play dead for an injury, you have to be subbed out. Subbing into the game for the Tigers, number 10, Josh Mihalik. Now, nice little head on through, and Kadari couldn't quite get through there and then got shoved. We'll call incidental contact. That was awful close to another Erie goal. And Windsor, they got to be a little shell-shocked. They on their heels. And, Alex, you said it, that Erie needed to kind of reestablish themselves into that third with some aggression and confidence, and they have here the last couple of minutes.
Yeah, defensively, they've definitely gotten to have a lot of numbers come back and help defensively just close all those holes.
Ooh. Sorry to cut you off there. We almost got a goal by Patrick Cummings. Just couldn't get much on it as the ball spilled out to him. Patrick, a very intelligent kid, wants to study engineering at the University of Colorado. That's where his brother Brandon, who is on the soccer team, is right now in the aerospace program. Of course, their father, Dave Cumming, works with Digital Globe. sub coming on here for Windsor. Sub of the game for the Wizards, number 20, Zachary Fenley. Windsor's utilized subs a little bit more here than Erie today. Now Hull will just kind of clear it in toward the Windsor net. That'll enable Bauma to pick it up. Bauma, pretty good leg. We've seen him booted across midfield a few times tonight. Tigers again on the attack, and oh, Kaderi just got a piece of it blocked as he tried to link up with Mihalik. Ethan Tyson, Dalton Harrington. There defensively. Windsor trying to settle it down. And the Tigers have really done well about 10 yards from goal, closing off any space. Sometimes that we've seen that as a weakness for the Tigers, where it might not be in the box, but there's still space, and we see some good cracks on net that lead to big rebounds and goals, and they have closed that off here tonight. 4:42 remaining. Back line really pushing up there for Windsor. They're trying to get a late goal here in this one. Can the Tigers take advantage here with a counter? Ball sent ahead. First to it is a Wizard, and he'll clear it out of bounds. Four minutes exactly in this one. Erie fans trying to encourage the Tigers on. This could mean a playoff berth. Foul on Windsor. 3:07 remaining. Erie taking their sweet time here, getting this one all set up. That one not quite able to settle that one down was Hull. Now he'll flick that one back over to his head. Good touch by Cummings. He'll send it up. Mihalik tried to dump it back off to Cummings. Instead, it's going back the other way. And Ethan Tyson trying to get there. Instead of clearing right away, he tried to stop and pivot back. Now in the box is Windsor. Shot! And that one is blocked by Tyson. A little dangerous there. Tigers almost getting a little too cute there. Windsor starting to settle down. They've started to connect on some more passes. That one will outlet nicely there that time. And although Windsor will pick it up, will actually be out of bounds. A throw in for the Wizards. 1:46 remaining. 1-0 Erie on top here as Erie playing tough here in this first half. Cummings will turn and chop it up the field off a Windsor player, and he'll earn the team a throw-in. It's heady play there. Into the game for the Tigers, number 7, Iago Roloff. Iago Roloff checks back in. Iago seems Every time you watch him play, it just seems like the Energizer Bunny. Just keeps going and going. Alex, I gotta ask you, since you're only 15 here. I know you're close to 16. When I say the Energizer Bunny, do you even know what I'm referring to?
Of course, you're referring to the batteries.
Okay, all right, good. It's been a while since I've seen an Energizer Bunny commercial, so I thought maybe I was dating myself a little bit. 31 seconds. Windsor on the attack again. That's Finley trying to sneak it up the sideline. Good little pass there for Kohler. Goes around one Tiger defender, and finally multiple Tiger defenders covering for each other. Headed in, top of the box, and finally cleared away. Nervy again, 5 seconds left, and that will do it here in the half. So a good first half of play. Erie leads it 1-0. We are going to take a little break here, take the headsets off, leave the cameras rolling, but you're watching the Erie Tiger Network. And welcome back in, Erie Tiger Network, to our live coverage here as Erie, will be kicking off to start this half. And what a glorious half this could be. Windsor quickly on the attack here and just cleared up and away. Trying to track that down is Roloff. Or excuse me, that's Colin. That is Roloff. Sometimes Colin Heinel and Iago Roloff, at least from the press box, look like they could be brothers. As Heinel sends that one in. Wasn't you disagreeing with me there, Alex?
Not really, no. I mean, definitely hard to see from up here sometimes.
The first thing I notice about people is their hair. I know that maybe some of you can relate. Some people it's eyes, some people it's ears. I don't know, different for everyone. One time I was calling a high school basketball game between Caliche and Arickaree Woodland Prep back when I was working radio, and Caliche for the state playoffs decided that they were all going to get the exact same haircut. They were all a bunch of white 6'3" kids with a flat top, and I could not tell them apart. I mean, that's just usually not looking at numbers quite as much as maybe other announcers. That was a real chore for me. So sometimes see kids with similar haircuts out here at similar body types, just kind of throws you a little bit. Well, Windsor down a goal here. See if Erie can continue to hold on, as this will be a tough task. As we said, 66 goals scored through the year for Windsor. Erie trying to shut them out for, I believe, only the second time all season. I actually better double check that before I find out I'm lying to you. Windsor's one loss on the season, as we mentioned before, came at the hands of Skyline. It was a 4-0 victory. So this would only be the second time all season. However, would be the second time in their last 3 games if Erie could hold on. Ball into the box, headed on off the post, but offside is the call. You can see they're knocking on the door. And just hold on to your seats, everyone. This could be a wild ride here this half. Now Powell will send this one kind of wide and actually out of bounds up near midfield. Tyson again tracking back. Played into the middle. That's Burnett. Windsor starting to connect some passes here. Good step up that time. Erie's really dropping back. They don't have one person beyond 40 yards from goal. Now even 30. Literally every single Erie player is within 30 yards of the net right now. And that's tough to counter. You don't really have any numbers up there to just kind of even hold on to the ball. Really, that is what you'd refer to as parking the bus. I don't know if that's what Coach Vigil talked about at halftime or not, but Tigers definitely trying to clog up the box. Now here comes a set piece into the box, headed away nicely by Jackson Higgins. Remember, Jackson is a freshman. He just rolled in and carried himself like a very mature young man, and he has been a staple on that back line for Erie now for 2 years and then a little bit there his freshman year. But planted himself there right as the central back. Uses that size well. 34:56 remaining. That will roll out for a goal kick. Powell. Tigers might start doing what you see some of the other smaller teams do, which is really take their time, sub a little bit more, try and really just slow this game down. Into the game for the Tigers, number 5, Patrick Cummings. So Patrick Cummings checks in here for Erie. Coach Vigil actually giving direction on the side to Mihalik, and I think Windsor actually lost them. Had that been a little bit better of a pass, Mihalik might have snuck in behind the defenders as CJ Hull takes a tumble head over heels. They'll call a foul there on Kohler, and they might stop the clock here for injury. And they will, with 33:55 left. CJ went down with a knee injury early in the year. It looked to be not so good. Luckily, it wasn't as bad as feared. He's able to come back pretty quick after that, and he's been huge this year. Obviously, a team captain. CJ also a member of the marching band, as he will be helped off the field there. Coach Vigil out giving some quick directions to his players. Still 1-0 Erie though, 33:55 remaining on the clock. And now the official is going to have a chat with the Wizard player. Sub coming on, that's Evan Harbaugh. Clock will roll as it was whistled for play, and they will say that was off of a Windsor head, and so this is a big-time corner here for Erie. Chance for them to maybe sneak one more in. They're not going to be overly aggressive, but pretty good job. Right in a spot where you want it. Tigers have been better on set pieces. Now a Windsor Wizard down behind the play, I think, with cramps or tying the shoe. And we had to blow it dead there for a second. And now the official wants to have a chat with all the captains. So I think he feels like maybe things getting a little bit chippy out here.
Yeah, this is a very high-stakes game, so of course emotions are going to get higher and players are going to get heated. It's still a pretty close game, so it's definitely going to get a lot more physical out there. So refs are trying to stop that early and make it a fair game.
And so now the captain, one of the captains, Jackson Higgins, in there talking with the Tiger team about what was relayed by the officials. Windsor never really got together, so Tigers trying to remain unified. Coach Vigil wants to sub CJ Hull back in. So Hull seems to be okay, just a little bit shaken up. Still have not whistled. There we go. And play continues here. Ball sent high into the night. I know we'll spray it wherever. As you said, tensions run a little bit high. Windsor frustrated, and they haven't scored. So they've got to be aggressive. Erie trying to match their intensity. So that's sometimes how you see just kind of tensions begin to rise. Ball chipped, near side. Windsor trying to settle it down. Played off onto the near side. Shots deflected out of bounds, and now Windsor trying to throw it into the box. Ball bouncing around, and Higgins will clear it. And as we said, no Tigers up top. Everyone packed in. They are trying to survive. This is really almost like a playoff game for Erie. They're not guaranteed if they win, and they're not totally out of it if they lose. When the top 32 teams make it, their RPI should improve considering that they are taking on a 13-1 team. That will help their opponents' win-loss or their win percentage. The biggest factor, though, is your own. And so the biggest thing you can do is play a team with a 13-1 record and get a win against that team. That would be a huge RPI booster. Windsor still trying to attack here. There's just not much place to go. There's a lot of room, obviously, for their defensemen to kind of pass it back and forth between each other. Going forward's a chore as the Tigers have all 11 men there behind the ball. Now through ball sent up the sideline, but too much weight behind that one. Giving it chase was Wagner. Now sub coming in.
Sub into for the Tigers, senior captain number 12, C.J. Hull.
Now C.J. Hull back in. Good feeling. You can get your captain out there. And C.J. an excellent defender, but just a strong presence overall in the midfield. And the goal scorer tonight, Afe. We went back and we watched that on YouTube. That's the one nice thing. You can scroll back. You can pretty much watch instant replay yourself. But we went back. We watched it at halftime. Man, that was a good 30 yards from net. Perfectly placed. And some call it, those type of goals, a wonder strike. That's certainly what that one was. Under 30 minutes to play now, 29.5 actually. Erie continues to hold strong. Little steal there in the midfield. That one is deflected back in toward the Windsor side. This is dangerous here. Carlson, the shot, and that was deflected wide. John Powell went diving to his right. It deflected back wide right of the goal, away from where Powell was diving. And now a corner coming for Windsor. Yago Roloff set to check in here for Erie. Ball sent into the box. That one is skied over the net for a goal kick. Now another sub coming in here for the Tigers. Coach Vigil being smart. That helps melt some time off the clock. Each sub.
Now to the game for the Tigers, number 7, Yago Roloff.
So still a 1-0 lead. Patrick Cummings trying to deflect it ahead. Tigers almost had a counter chance there. See Cummings and Kadari and Mihalik racing up there. Just no one wanting to get overextended and let Windsor have too many numbers going the other way. 27:55 now. And Alex, Windsor's had the ball for most of this half, but they have not had any good looks.
Yeah, they've had a couple corner kicks, but just nothing really out of them. Oh,
There was a good look, as you were saying.
but they just haven't been able to get the back of the net. And kudos to John, and I'm sure John's thanking his defense with Ethan and CJ Hull helping out back there. Definitely takes a load off of his shoulders.
For the Wizards, number 11, Harper Simmons.
We almost announcer jinxed it there. They really hadn't had a solid crack on net. That was probably about their best one here this half as Heinl smartly plays it off the legs of Simmons. 27 minutes remaining. Tense times. Can Erie hold on? Could they get a playoff berth under new head coach Jeff Vigil? That would be, I think, a huge accomplishment. I think you do that in your first year. You've already seen how much these players have just grown leaps and bounds. That's a game changer for a program, and this program's so young that just kind of resets the tone of the whole culture. 26-19. Windsor starting to settle things down a little bit here. Erie relenting a little bit in the midfield. Now Windsor throw-in. And they're calling a foul here on Erie and a free kick coming for Windsor. Erie parents, players and coaches not happy. Ball well placed, but no one there. And that is right where you want to put it, right on the 6-yard box on the far post. No one was home. Now Hull racing through the midfield, trying to get it up. Roll off, the nice touch. He has it out wide. Roll off into the box. No one quite there for the Tigers. Touch was a little bit too far wide, and some good speed there defensively for Windsor. That goalie was well out of his net. He had to retreat. We actually saw a JV goal for Erie, similar to the buildup we saw there. Now Windsor trying to counter. Still don't have as many numbers back as, or up there as Erie does back. And good job by Erie to clear. Erie's trying to be aggressive in their counter, but they don't send many numbers forward. Now a sub coming in here for Windsor. Alex, is that number 10 there on the far side?
Indeed it is.
Sub into the game for the Wizards, number 10, Wasim Jimenez.
Now ball chipped up. Good job defensively that time by Tyson, marking his man. They're putting pressure back there. Patrick took one. Now back the other way goes Hull, trying to slow it up so that Erie, as they go forward, can still possess and chew up clock. Just couldn't quite hold on to it. Now ball played out wide. We'll try and go up with Jimenez on the wing. And now jeers coming from the Windsor fans. Now foul called. Nope, I'll say that was rolled over the end line. That's what that one was. By the way, Jimenez, who checked in, he's got 22 goals on the year. As we mentioned, the highest goal scorer for Erie, 6 goals with Kaderi. And then Kohler has 17. Carlson for Windsor has 9, so 3 scores for Windsor, and they have been blanked tonight. 3 goal scorers higher than Erie's highest. 2 of them by quite a bit. Now ball will deflect out. 23 minutes exactly in this one. Erie holding on to a 1-0 lead. Roloff trying to get on the end of that. Now Cummings will send it in. That one will go wide. And a goal kick coming for Windsor. They're trying to hurry this one up. Erie has had a short bench here tonight. Now Coach Vigil telling all his subs to start warming up a little bit. Erie doing a good job kind of pressing Windsor. I mean, you drop those forwards back as midfielders, they can really pounce on the midfielders and still have some coverage behind them should they get beat. Now the Windsor goalie standing 40 yards from his own goal line. They are pressing up really high. Ball sent into the box, headed out, and then picked up by a Wizard. They'll send it right back in. Powell dives, and that one is just wide. A little bit of a scare there. Windsor keeps coming at Erie, but Erie has been unyielding so far. Now Powell will play it short to Heinel. We'll play it up the sideline. Smart there for Erie, burning a little bit more time off the clock here. Wizards continue to control in the Erie third. Erie hanging on here by a fingernail, but they are hanging on with the lead. Headed, middle of the box, skied out of play by Higgins. He's been just rock solid tonight for Erie.
Goes just over the post and hits the football upright. It's probably one of their best chances of the night. It'll be a goal kick for John Powell.
Into the game for the Tigers, junior number 14, Joshua Kaderi.
Tigers keeping their forwards fresh. They're asking their forwards to do a lot of running. They have to track all the way back, almost into their own third, and then keep possession as they go forward. That is tiresome, and so Coach Vigil continues to sub them in and out. Mihalik, great job to keep possession. Almost connected that with Patrick Cummings. And now Hull has it. Hull gets it stolen, trying to get it right back, and I think a foul going to be called on CJ Hull. Coach Vigil not liking that one. I don't blame him. Hull was trying to get around the Windsor defender. He had his hands in the air, and the Windsor defender just kind of boxing him out using his body. Oh, boy. Now ball sent into the box. Back in, and Tigers there, but a corner coming. Under 20 minutes. Tigers have led for almost 3/4 of this game. So here comes a Windsor corner. You can tell that tension continues to rise high. Open in the box, curler back post, and it's over the net. Oh, man. That was cleared away, I think. Dalton Harrington or Colin Heinel back there. I think it was Colin Heinel that got his foot to it. But another corner coming. Another curler. That one was low, still in the box, finally headed out. Now a long crack just wide. Oh, now instead of just trying to get into the Tiger third, Windsor's starting to knock on the door. Can the Tigers keep him off?
Into the game for the Wizards, senior number 2, Josh Davis, and freshman number 3, John Burnett.
Now cleared away. Mihalik trying to give chase here. Good little move there. A little dangerous move by the Windsor defender. Now Windsor trying to go on the attack here. Hull with the nice slide tackle and pokes it away. 17-30. Tigers just trying to grasp with everything they can to hold on to this game. Heinel will head it out toward Mihalik. Mihalik tried to get it to Hull, who was marked, and a little turnover there. Now tracking all the way back is Mihalik, headed wide, and that should be an Erie throw-in. Now Roloff, I think, will replace Mihalik, who is gassed. He has been running all over the field.
Now the game for the Tigers, number 7, Yago Roloff.
That's Josh Davis with it. He'll chip it, far post. Good job by Erie to let that one go. Can't quite tell who that defender was. I think that was Karstensen out there on defense. Tell you what, watching through this screen on the field, anytime the ball's on the far side, that's tough to pick up that number. Erie pressuring a little bit, trying to force a turnover. Patrick Cummings still trying to chop at it and can't quite possess. Windsor with some space now. 3 Tigers have to track back. Now Hull trying to get there in the middle, and Patrick Cummings will pick it up as Hull eats the turf. Roloff trying to hold it, and they'll stop the clock here. As C.J. Hull was on the turf, and a yellow card coming. That one on Camden Carlson.
Yellow card, number 31, Camden Carlson.
And now it'll be a free kick here for Erie. And they'll put 3 guys up around the top of the box. That's it. Now Jackson Higgins motioning for C.J. Hull to press up a little bit. Heinel actually in a soft spot out wide. He doesn't have a Windsor player within 20 yards of him. Don't think Higgins will go there, though. It's a little bit more risky. Higgins taking his time. As that one is sent into the box, just misheaded. Now out wide. Boy, the Tigers would love to pick up a little counter insurance goal. That would change the feel of this game immensely. And Alex, as you know, being a student, we play Windsor in a lot of sports, and they are good in a lot of sports, and they are not a team that Erie has been able to knock off many times. This would be a big win for not only this program, but the school.
Yeah, definitely. Always facing Windsor it's always been tough, and just whenever we can pull out a win, it definitely helps the school energy rise, and it gets all the students pumped, and it's a great experience to have a win over a great program.
14:20 left now. Powell takes another goal kick. Sometimes you see defenders that might have a better leg take a goal kick, but in this instance, the more numbers the Tigers can get further up the field, Windsor can't just park themselves either in that Tiger third. They have to respect the offside trap and bring players, 30, 40 yards from goal, and that continues to just melt clock off. Windsor. A little more room here in the midfield. Tigers playing a little bit softer. Now a foul coming. And once again, Coach Vigil not happy, and CJ Hull gets a yellow card. Yellow card on number 12, CJ Hull. Checking into the game for the Tigers, number 1, Evan Harbaugh. So we said I'm pulling double duty here tonight, so sorry if that sounds a little weird to you at home. They never stopped the clock here for this card. And they do have us reset the clock here. They never signaled for the clock to stop. I know with a yellow card it does stop. And so 13:26 is what's put on the board here. And now the official going over to talk to the Windsor coach. There's been a lot of stoppages here in this half. And that one sent through the uprights. And I think the Windsor player thought he may have made it. He kind of double fist pumped. Did you see that there, Alex?
I did not. I was watching the ball, actually.
Yeah, looked back, and the Windsor player, right as that ball dipped in behind the goal, gave kind of a little double fist pump. Now CJ Hull back into the game. Back into the game for Erie, number 12, CJ Hull. Now Cummings with it, ahead to roll off. Ball up and just leaks into the box. A little too much behind it. That could have been real dangerous. Erie trying to keep that ball onto the Windsor third. Man, this would be a huge win for the program. Iago with it, keeps possession. Now looks, plays it ahead. Couldn't quite get it up to Kaderi, and Kaderi plays it off of a Windsor player. Now they've got some numbers. Iago on his horse gets all the way back. Ball outside the box now. Sent in. Good job defensively. Tigers just so many numbers back there in the box. Hard to clear it in, and a little dive there, and the referee not having that one. Tiger fans excited and clapping for that one. So you mentioned Tigers lost 2-0 to Windsor earlier this year. Last year, Erie lost 2-1 to Windsor, and what was honestly one of their best games of the entire year. And then they lost 5-0 at Windsor. And you go back to 2015, as here's another set piece coming. Low, well placed, still in the box, and finally cleared out. Now Roloff trying to corral it, and Windsor still maintains possession. Back in 2015, the Tigers, even with that great team, they lost to Windsor one time, but they did beat them 5-2 at home. So Tigers have lost 3 straight to Windsor. 4 out of the last 5. And then you even go back to 2014, the Tigers' first year. They lost 8-2 and 5-1. So overall in the series, they have gone 1 for 7 against Windsor, trying to make it number 2 here tonight. Now Roloff giving chase, pressuring that back line. Roloff almost got a huge steal there. Just couldn't quite get his foot to it. Cummings trying to keep possession there. Now plays it into the middle of the field. Kaderi was fading. Now Heinel kind of miscued the header. Jimenez plays it forward and wide and too long. Under 10 minutes remaining. And Erie still leads 1-0. 10 minutes, though, against this team. It feels like an eon. Heinel just misreads it. There goes Windsor. There was a PK stop, probably the play of the game outside of the goal, and another shot that just was touched by John Powell, I think, or they're going to say it was touched. I didn't think that he got to that. I thought that was just wide, but they will award a Windsor corner. Oh, that was dangerous. Now corner sent to the far side. That one's headed wide. Patrick Cummings first to it. He'll flick it on. Roll off. Now gets it up to Cummings. Cummings, if he looks up, he can, oh man. If Patrick looked up, he could have sent one from midfield that might have been able to actually score. The goalie was about 25 to 30 yards from net. He was trying to tack back. Don't think that was on Patrick's mind. I think he was looking for a teammate to pass it to. Man, that would have been huge. Windsor again trying to press in, and that one's misfired on the pass. And here come a couple subs for Erie.
2 substitutes into the game for Erie. Number 9, Jeff Fitzjohn. And number 10, Josh Mihalik. Excuse me, Josh Mahalik.
Now Hull has it. And one defender back, and he's going to play it back to the goalie. And Hull will retreat. Could have stayed there. That would have really pressured the goalie. No outlet. And that shot fired high. Never felt like a real threat, though. And now 7 minutes remaining. And trying to head it down was a Tiger, and he took a foot in the face. That was Andrew Kohler. And a ball deflected off of a Windsor player, and that's an Erie throw-in. They continue to drain time off this clock. We talked about pressure. The more you hold Windsor off, the more pressure they feel and miscue passes and shots, and we've seen that. A lot more pressure on the better team, although this is an important game for Erie, probably more so. And that third of the field has been pretty much vacant almost the entirety of this half. In fact, we told our cameraman Noah Alejo this might be a defensive-minded half for Erie, and to park yourself down by the Erie goal, and that he's done that. That's why you see the camera down there on the field. That ball is chipped in, and John Powell's able to run to it, and now he can slow it up a little bit. Coach Vigil telling him to hold up, take as much time as he can. The official signaling to play on, and he'll boot this high. Good punt by Powell. And just played out by Harrington. Didn't want to mess around with that. Now Jimenez trying to look for an outlet. Jimenez has been marked this whole game by Tanner David. He's done tremendous as Powell catches that one. And another stop as Powell has had a great game. Erie wants a sub here. Next stoppage of play. Jacob Fawcett. Patrick trying to play it softly to Mahalik. 4 minutes and 3 seconds. Can Erie hold on? Ball into the box and cleared away again. You can see there the Windsor goalie, he is 45 yards almost from net. Long ball sent in, and Powell had to catch a dangerous bouncer, and now Coach Vigil telling him to slow it down. Take as much time as you can. And another good boot. Mahalik trying to provide pressure. If you're Erie, you'd love to have possession, go to the corner and sit on it. That's kind of what you're taught to do, but they've been content just kind of playing it back deep into the Windsor end. Now no one pressuring the ball for Erie. I mean, they have dropped all 11 way back. Headed out. Cummings first to touch. Windsor will settle again. Just no room for Windsor to operate in the Erie third. They have hung out 35, 40 yards from goal. Erie giving them that room. The only thing they can really do is try and send it in, but they can't go offside, so it's been a tough dance for them. Alex, as a student, kind of describe the intensity that everyone's feeling.
Right now, we're just trying to get through this 2 minutes, 10 seconds, and just trying to hold them to no goals, get that 1-0W. And it's just seeing these guys out there playing their hearts out for their school is just amazing to watch. And, you know, all of these parents and siblings and other students out here to support is just a great feeling. It's amazing to see how much this community cares about each other, and it's just cool to see.
Patrick Cummings, the nice little step through to steal, but right back. Windsor sends into the box again, headed top of the box. Dangerous. Finally finds its way out to an Erie foot for a moment at least. That's Fitzjohn. 1:27 left. Ball sent in again, and Powell will collect again. Erie parking the bus. And they have done it to perfection so far. For now 79 minutes. 1 minute remaining. So 1 minute left in this. Here we go. The countdown is on. 50 seconds. Can Erie hold on? Hull trying to gather it. And he will get hit hard and fouled. And the clock stops. What did it say? And we're trying to make sure as we said double duty, really triple duty. We're also controlling the scoreboard tonight. And the official signaled that the clock was stopped. That's all I could hear. I think a yellow card maybe for Windsor as Josh Mahalik checked out. So here we go, 38 seconds. Windsor has the ball. Tigers really just need to fend off one more attack here. Ball sent into the box, headed top of the box. No one there for Erie yet. Now Cummings will clear it, and he gets tackled, and they'll play on. Ball sent into the box again, and Powell catches. That might do it. Powell just has to boot one deep. He'll send a low one. Bounces in toward the other Windsor goalie. They might have one more. 6 seconds left. 5. And that's it. The Tigers win it.
And a win by your Erie Tigers. Final score 1-0.
And the fans are excited. The players are excited. Coach V. Hill, Mr. Carpenter out there on the field. What a huge win for this program. Describe that feeling, Alex.
It's just great knowing that this soccer program went through a tough year last year, and now going to state and just seeing all these guys working really hard and just showing up and playing great defense, great offense, and that was a great game by C.J. Holt. You couldn't ask any more of him.
Oh, man, how about that? Well, that's going to do it here. Erie wins by a final score of 1-0. For Thomas Abreu, our producer, Noah Alejo, Jaden Chambers, I'm Brandon Bird, and, of course, Alex Duvall on color. Thank you so much for joining us here tonight. We'll see you for our next broadcast of Erie Tiger Sports, as we will have the softball team in the first round of state at 10 a.m. on Friday. Until then, I'll chirp at you later.